Hi there and welcome to the workshop. My name is David and we're going to have a look at another safe, and this time around this is our Bloomsbury 40K size 3 keylocking safe. You may have come across this Bloomsbury range from another video that we did, which was called This is the Best Home Safe, and that's quite an in-depth video that goes into all the details of the specifics that I'm describing in this video and a lot more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link now up in the top right hand corner of your browser, of your window there rather, and that will remain there throughout this video. And at any point you want to see the more in-depth video, you can just simply click on the little eye in the top right hand area of your screen and that will take you to that video. There's a link in the video description to my article on which safe is best for home, but without further ado, let's have a look at this safe. So this is from a family of safes that come in 4 sizes. This is the size 3. As you can imagine, there's one size larger, which is the size 4, and 2 smaller, which is the size 2 and 1. And they come either with a key, as you see here, or with a digital keypad with emergency key. But today we're just looking at the size 3 and in the straight key locking form. Onto the dimensions, and this size 3, the height is 350mm. This is external, so height 350mm, the width is 470mm, and the depth is 350mm. Internal dimensions, we have a height of 330mm, a width of 460mm, and a depth of 295mm. And this safe has a weight of 44 kilograms and an internal capacity of 44 litres. The Bloomsbury range are a range of safes that we call an S2, and I'm talking in terms of insurance. S2 is an insurance rating based on a European grade, and the grade is EN 14450, and there's S1 and there's S2. This is S2. S2 means that it's suitable for insurance purposes, for storing up to £4,000 in cash or up to £40,000 in valuables. The S1 is half that. If we could just take a moment to pause and talk about the colour of the safe, because the reason that maybe you're seeing that my camera is struggling to focus is that this kind of matte, speckly, very dark blue, almost black finish is just absorbing all the light, and the lens just doesn't know how to focus. So I apologise for that, but it is a very attractive colour. I'm not sure if the sparkling is coming out. Oh look, there it is. Hopefully that comes out as I move it across, but as you can see it's washed out our label there, because I've got the flash on trying to get you to be able to see this finish. The safe is supplied with 2 double-bitted high security keys, and they go into the safe like this, and to open it we turn once and we turn twice and the safe is open. And now we can see the inside. I'm going to go through some of the features, if not all of the features, that make this a really great safe. I've locked the safe back up because the first feature is actually on the outside, and the door is made from one solid 10mm sheet of steel, as you can see, and the doorway is cut with a laser, which is a highly precise process. You can't achieve that without a laser, and the benefit of that is the gap between the door is I can barely get my fingernail into the gap. So if you imagine a burglar trying to drive a screwdriver or a crowbar into that gap to try and prise that door open, that's going to prevent that. So that's the first feature that makes this a great safe. And the second feature is that high security double-bitted safe lock. The next feature are the bolts, and as you can see we've got these huge bolts that rotate, and the idea is if someone's trying to drill them or cut them, they rotate so they can't get any purchase. But you've got one up top, you've got 3 down the side, and there's another one underneath. And here you can see that 10mm thick single slab of steel that the front is made from. The next feature is the actual lock itself. If someone was trying to drill into it to try to defeat the lock, it's protected by a manganese drill plate. Manganese steel is one of the hardest materials known to man, and to try to drill it is very difficult. And the next feature is the way that the bolts lock into the door. So a lot of safes, the bolt just sits behind something, whereas these bolts you'll see have corresponding welded hardened steel plates that they lock into on the side, on the bottom and on the top. And the next feature is the hinge. The hinge is an invisible hinge, so you can't see it from the outside. With the door shut, you cannot attack that hinge. I'll just lock the safe again because there's nothing to attack. Another feature is with the key removed, this safe is completely flush at the front, so there is nothing protruding. So if you wanted to have some joinery built around this, you could have a piece of wood in front of it that might detach with a magnetic catch or something like that. A lot of joiners and wardrobe makers can make that kind of thing after we've installed the safe, so that's another advantage. And another feature that makes this a great safe is the way that the carcass, the body of the safe, is made. It's continuously welded on the inside, and as you can see, we've got a very rounded, seamless exterior. Nowhere to bang tools in to try to open it, to try and prise it. Completely seamless. First class. So before I go on to the final and most important feature that makes this a great safe, I'll just cover the interior. We've got the ubiquitous shelf that can be in one position, this position, or not there at all. And there it is removed. So if you've got large objects that you want to put in the safe, you've got more room to do so. Pop the flash on so you can get a better view inside now. They come with a carpet, which is handy for keeping things from getting scratched and things like that. Just one more thing before I go on to the most important reason that this is a great safe. It's not a fire resistant safe, it's a burglary resistant safe. However, we do have these fire resistant wallets that you can put a fair bit of stuff in, certainly documents and things like that. And as you can see, they fit right inside the safe. Shut the safe, lock it up, best of both worlds, burglary resistance and your fire resistance in your fire retardant wallet. When you come to checkout, you will see that as an option, as is a small magnetic light that we do that turns on automatically when the safe opens, and we also do a damp collector type box that you put in that will keep damp out if you're putting it in a damp area. It absorbs moisture, a moisture absorber, that's the word. Okay, so the number one reason that this is for me a great safe is the amount of fixing holes that we can use to bolt it into your house or your business. And as you can see inside, we have 4 large holes in the base and 4 large holes in the rear. Safes just don't come with these. Normally you'll get 1 in the bottom or 2 in the bottom, 1 in the back and 2 in the back. You'll never get these 8 fixings. And we endeavour, whenever we install a safe, to use all the fixings or the potential fixings that the manufacturer has thought to put in, and this particular manufacturer has put in 8. I'm doing a whole video on installation and bolts and things like that, but this is just a sort of brief introduction. Here we're looking at a typical arrangement of bolts that we carry. We carry many others, but if we're bolting the back of the safe, and that's the back of the safe by the way, and you can see that continuously welded seam at the back and the 4 fixing holes. These are various lengths, 70mm, 100mm, 120mm I think. We also have 150mm by 12mm bolts with a 40mm nylon plug. A lot of safes come with raw bolts, which are sort of traditional expanding bolts. I worked in the fixings industry many decades ago, and we found raw bolts are actually quite hit and miss. They can crack a brick, you might not get a good fixing. We've been using these nylon fixings now for a long time, many years, and we find them to be far more reliable. Typical installation, we tend to go for the 70mm bolt. We want to be on the safe side. You don't want to drill too deep, you don't want to risk drilling through, so we tend to use a 70mm bolt. We use a metal detector to detect around the area where we're going to drill beforehand. So to give you an idea, I've set up 4 of those 70mm bolts, kind of simulating what would be in the wall. So these would be in the wall, locking in to one of these 40mm anchors, and that's just the back. We're also able to fix downwards into the base. So from the inside now, they're not done up obviously, but there's those 4 bolts. They're done up with a 17mm ratchet spanner, very, very tight. And just on their own, those 4 would be stronger than most safes bolted to a wall, even higher rated safes. This would be a better installation, but we're still left with 4 more holes. So even if it was just going onto, like this work surface is just chipboard on my workbench here, but let's say it's a typical wardrobe with a raised plinth, and we've pushed the safe to the back and we've drilled through and we've found a brick wall behind, and those 4 bolts are bolted into those brick walls. We can use a couple of other things here. So we could put some regular wood screws. So these are regular wood screws with penny washers, and as you can see, in addition to the fixings, the safe's already fixed at the back, we add 4 of these. Even if it's into chipboard or into the joinery, you're going to add some additional resistive force for each screw. And let's say, for argument's sake, each screw takes another 10 kilos of resistance to pull it out. You've added 40 kilos of resistance to the installation, and you've made it much stronger. As I say, I'm going to do another video on installation and the various ways that we can install a safe and make it strong. But this safe, the Bloomsbury, we can install the best. It's just so versatile. We're able to really get a good installation in everybody's home or business with this particular safe. I can't praise it enough. And while we're on the subject of installation, you need a professional to install your safe. And hopefully I've demonstrated to you over all these videos that we are the people you need to trust to install your safe. A lot of safe retailers, you know, these people with these web shops and what have you, they'll encourage you to buy the safe. They don't want the hassle of installing it. They want the safe to arrive with the carrier and you to install it yourself. You might be an engineer, you might be a builder, you might be a fixing specialist. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the average person. You're not going to get the safe installed properly. It's not going to be a good installation, and the burglar's going to be able to pull it out. You need to get us to do it. So thank you for sticking with me this long on this video. I hope I haven't bored you. Now a small advert. We are London and Home County Safes. That's our website, londonsafes.co.uk. Check us out online. We supply and we install. We don't just supply, we only supply and install. And we'll bring this safe to you in an unmarked van, and one of our vetted employees, who's an experienced safe installer, will install it for you, and he will issue a certificate of installation so that you've got that for your insurance company and that you know that it's been done properly. Thank you very much for watching.
Free delivery and free installation. Your safe will be delivered and professionally installed by one of our own vetted employees who will arrive in an unmarked vehicle. Get in touch online or call us on 0800 711 7892.